Happy Sunday. Today we're going to be talking about the parables of Jesus Christ. Well, what is a parable? It's a lesson, a spiritual one. He would take a deep spiritual lesson, something existential and large, and put it into a story that people could understand. Well, today we're in chapter 13 of the Gospel of Matthew, and we're going to be taking a look at a few of his parables. There's something we need to know about the Gospel of Matthew, though, that's very interesting. In it, Matthew uses the terminology kingdom of heaven like 30-some times, and you're going, what is the kingdom of heaven? In the other Gospels, we see kingdom of God used, but kingdom of heaven, what is this? During the first century, Jewish writers did not like to write the name of God. And what he was trying to do was convey that the kingdom that Jesus was talking about was not of this earth. You have to remember that during that time, Rome had occupied Judea. By calling it the kingdom of heaven, Jesus was able to create the distinction that the kingdom I'm talking about is not here. The kingdom I'm talking about is there, and it's in here. Isn't it fascinating to think about? Let's jump right in. First up, Matthew 13, verse 44, the parable of the hidden treasure. It says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and hid. And for joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that field. Let me say that again. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field, which a man found and hid, and for joy over it, he goes and sells all he has and he buys that field. We'll come back to the meaning. The second one, the parable of the pearl of great price. Verse 45. The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking beautiful pearls, who, when he found the one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. Next, we're looking at the parable of the dragnet. The dragnet gets cast out of the boat into the sea and reeled back in, and they pull fish into it. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a dragnet that was cast into the sea and gathered some of every kind of fish, which, when it was full, they drew to shore, and they sat down and gathered the good into vessels, but threw the bad away. So it will be at the end of the age, says Jesus. The angels will come forth, separate the wicked from among the just, and cast them into the furnace of fire. There will be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Jesus said to them, have you understood all these things? They said to him, yes, Lord. Then he said to them, therefore every scribe instructed concerning the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a household, who brings out of his treasure things new and old. All right, let's get into this because this is some cool stuff. The first one, the parable of the hidden treasure. Okay, so what had happened was this guy goes and he finds a field and he finds something of great value in it. He hid it. He left. He sold everything he ever owned and had, came back, bought that field. What is it? What could it possibly be? Let's look at the second one. The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking a beautiful pearl. This guy knows gems and jewels. It's what he does for a living. He's in the market, walking, looking. He finds the one. He goes and he gets rid of everything, buys that one pearl. He's good for the rest of his life. These two are a little different than the last one, so let's identify what's being said in these two parables. The answer is truth. Spiritual truth, enlightenment, God turning on the Wi-Fi. We have our materials, we have our things, we have our lives, we have our struggles, we have our families, we have our bills, we have our worries. Hey, it's 2 a.m. Let's stay awake and remember every single thing we've ever done wrong. Human life is hard. But here, the guy finds the precious thing in the field, hid it, went and got rid of all of his stuff, and came back. It's truth. What is the only thing that will make nothing on this earth matter? Knowing the truth. You know it in your heart for sure. The kingdom of heaven. God has turned on the Wi-Fi. There is a soul and spirit in us. He created us. He loves us. We are here for a purpose. He takes us back out of these shells when a time is done. We understand the world, the things in it, the battle between good and evil. Our eyes are open. The scales fall off. It's truth. It's not denomination. It's not theological pre-commitment. It's not doctrine. It's truth. Let's talk about the second one. The merchant. He knows jewels. He has spent his whole life hunting for the perfect one. Finds it. He doesn't need anything else. He understands truth. It's truth. Nothing else matters. I don't need it anymore. We burden ourselves with materialism and the bill I have to pay, and I have to go do this today and go do that today and go work at it. Our days are filled with stuff and stuff and stuff and stuff. And it hides us from the truth, the type of truth we only really get in true prayer and depth of spirit. Now let's look at that next one, because it's harsh. The dragnet. The fishermen are out there. They cast their net. They wheel it in. And it says in this parable, they would come up on the shore with the net and they'd take the good fish and put them in one side, and the bad fish they would just throw away without even a thought. What if I'm one of the bad ones? I don't want to be thrown away without a thought. But he says the angels do this job. And folks, I'm telling you, I bet you there are some angels that hate our guts because we were made in the image of God. They weren't. But it's their job to be in worship and be in the presence and to watch over us and to do everything that God bids. And they see us fail time and time and time and time again, and they know the truth. They know the presence and the glory. And there are other angels that probably love us and they think we're neat. And there are some that they can't picture them betting, I think this one's going to turn out all right. And sometimes they lose the bet, right? And other times there are ones that surprise them because they didn't think it was going to get it, but they got it. They got the truth and they're all right. So the angels are taking me, the fish in their hand. Is this a good one or a bad one? Am I going in the good pile or the bad pile? Have I found the truth or have I not found the truth? Am I going in the good pile or the bad pile? Are you going in the good pile or the bad pile? Listen to this last part. It's really interesting. So it will be at the end of the age. He'll separate the wicked from the just. Not from the good, the wicked from the just. And casting them into the furnace of fire. There'll be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Think about the story with the fish. The good ones separated from the bad ones. And the bad fish is going to get cast away by the angel. Wailing and gnashing of teeth. No, please, I went to church every week, didn't I? Please, no, I sang your praises. No, don't throw me away. Just give me another chance. We didn't use our time here to get the truth, though. And the last passage is weird. It took a lot of study to really get this. Listen to what it says. Then he said to them, therefore, every scribe instructed concerning the kingdom of heaven. Remember, kingdom of heaven, different, right? At this time, every place in the world that rules is a kingdom. They hear about a dude, Jesus, preaching the kingdom. They're going to say, what kingdom? What kingdom is he talking about? And all the Jews thought it's going to be a rising military government of some kind, right? Kingdom today to us, it's government, it's president, it's the kingdom of heaven, the government of heaven, the government of God. And it says, he said to them, therefore, every scribe instructed concerning the kingdom of heaven is like one owning a household who brings out of his treasure things new and old. What does that mean? Every scribe instructed concerning the kingdom of heaven is like a householder who brings out his treasure, things new and old. All right, so every scribe, writer, who is instructed about the kingdom of heaven, who knows about it, is like a person who owns a house and they bring out some new things and some old things. Oh, maybe he's talking about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, the institutions, how they'll dangle pieces of truth, but wrap it up in doctrines to also be able to control people. That's an interesting way to look at it. It's very deep. In fact, I wanted to share with you, it's been discussed that the Gospel of Matthew was actually written in Hebrew. And I think there's a lot of support for that and how many times we see kingdom of heaven, 36 times. We don't see it in the other Gospels. We see them say kingdom of God, knowing that Matthew was a Jew, writing to Jews during a Jewish time. He didn't want to use the word God, so he said kingdom of heaven, and sure enough, makes it look like the book was probably originally written in Hebrew. In the Dictionary of Early Christian Beliefs, we found some other interesting things on the kingdom of God. In the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That's from the book of Daniel. Indeed, the kingdom of God is within you. It's about truth. It's about inside us. He has delivered us from the power of darkness and translated us into the kingdom of the Son of his love. When you hear that we look for a kingdom, you imagine, without making any inquiry, that we're speaking of a human kingdom. This is Justin Martyr's first apology. He says, the kingdom of God comes not with observation revelation, neither do they say, look here or look there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Tertullian gives us that. There are many of them. The Christ of God shows his superiority to all rulers by entering into the various provinces and summoning men out of them to be subject to himself for the kingdom of heaven. That comes from Origen. There are endless examples of how Jesus is making the point that the kingdom of heaven is inside of us. The first time ever, singing together in fellowship, worship, and praise of our God, from Psalm 119. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. More to be desired are they than gold, and much fine gold, sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. The statutes of the Lord are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandments of the Lord are pure, enlightening the eyes. More to be desired are they than gold, yeah, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. The fear of the Lord is clean, enduring forever. The judgments of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yeah, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. Let the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. More to be desired are they than gold, than much fine gold, and sweeter than honey and the honeycomb. I hope you have a great week. God love you. And check out Matthew chapter 13 and some of those parables and see if you don't see him pointing to finding the truth as the answer to all things. Check out Psalm 119 as well, a beautiful psalm that makes a great song. Check out the new program we're doing with our channel memberships, 3 levels, and you can take 4-week, 8-week, and 12-week classes. You sign up for the monthly membership, it's a negligible fee, and you get to take tons of different classes on the channel that we're going to offer just for you. We'll give you the syllabus, we'll give you the worksheets, we'll give you the textbooks. God love you. See you next time.